Hey guys, welcome back to Chris Only Means. Today we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna recap every single game that happened this past Sunday, week 6 of the NFL season. If you're looking for a Monday night recap, if you're watching this on a Tuesday or something, or if you're looking for the Thursday night recap, I have different videos for those. Oh wait, there was no Thursday night game, so if you're looking for the Monday night recap, that's not this video. It should be on my channel by now, unless Monday night games haven't happened yet, in which case, just wait till tomorrow. I should post it sometime later tomorrow. I can't post videos very early, seeing as I have school, so I kind of have to wait, but I hope you understand. Anyways, we've got our notes down here. We've got for all the games. If you ever want me to go through how I do each of my videos, do a video talking about each of my videos, just let me know in the comments down below. If you have any suggestion, go ahead and comment it down below. Let's go ahead and get into things. First game we're going to talk about is the Texans versus the Titans. And the Titans, this game actually went into overtime. It was tied 36-36 at the end of regulation. And then it went into overtime. The Titans got the ball first, of course, and that basically means they win instantly. They go down the field. They got a touchdown. Titans win 42-36. And the Titans are now undefeated. They're still undefeated, 5-0. One of the few teams. I think there's 3 teams in the whole league who are still undefeated. I think it's Titans, Steelers, and Seahawks are the only undefeated teams left. And those are pretty good teams. In my opinion, I think it's insane that the Texans are 1-5, especially they've played these past couple of weeks. They haven't played a 1-5 team. They've played a 3-3 team, which isn't a very good record, but it's much better than 1-5. 3-3 is all right, we've got this. We can still make the playoffs. The season is not over in any way. 1-5 is kind of there's no way. Unless you're in the NFC, unless you're in the NFC East, there's really no chance for you if you're 1-5. All right. Also, I just thought I should say that David Johnson, I'm pretty sure that was a bad trade. He got 50 yards. He had their first drive of this season. That might be his best of this year because he had a lot of yards and he got a touchdown. Every single other drive, basically, I'm pretty sure, has not been near that. He has had a pretty bad season so far. Definitely not. He's not good enough to make up for the loss of DeAndre Hopkins, which no one really thought he would be, except for maybe Bill O'Brien. But I have a feeling that they're going to be looking for a new running back. They're going to be looking for a wide receiver. And this is kind of a good situation because the Texans, like I said, they're a 3-3 team in a 1-5 situation, and what you can see that as is they're a meh team, okay? But they are in a situation to where they could aim low and they could get. If they keep on playing the way they are playing, and they have a pretty tough division, they have a lot of tough games upcoming. They could lose a lot of games and then get a really good draft pick and either trade that draft pick to even that. Like I said, they do have a pretty mad team to add to their team, or they can use that pretty good draft pick to, get a really good player. So when you think about it, they could come out of next offseason one of the best teams in the league. They do have a lot of options here whenever a meh team starts out 1-5. And by meh, I mean a team that if they didn't have a rough schedule would probably go 9-7 or something. When a team gets that and that has a top 10 draft pick and then they get something really good, that's whenever they normally turn to a really good team. But right now the Texans, I say you still aim to win if you get to 1-7. Shoot. But right now, I would keep on holding out hope for these next couple of games. If you're 2-5, keep on holding out. But yeah. Next up, we have Bengals playing the Colts. The Bengals were up 24-0. They were looking great. Joe Burrow was popping off. And then the Colts come back. And in the last 5 minutes of the second quarter, they scored 21 points. They scored 10 points in the fourth quarter. They end up winning 31-27. Wow. I thought we were going to see the Bengals, start rolling because Joe Burrow's been looking really good, and he did look pretty good in this game. He had an off game last week, but we saw this week how he can come back. He started playing really good, and they just couldn't finish it off. They just couldn't do it. The Colts win 31-27. Phillip Rivers had an amazing game. We're starting to, I thought this would be the game where the Bengals started doing really good. Maybe they went 2-3-1, 3-3-1, 4, and they kind of started taking off that way. But they lost. They won 4-1. And again, this is kind of like a Texans situation. They are looking kind of like a 3-2-1 or something team. and they can go in this offseason, and they could finish their rebuild next year. It's always pretty cool to see a team finish their rebuild. I say, if not this year, they could pull something off this year. But if not this year, I think that there is a chance that next year they could finish off the rebuild. There's a really high chance they can finish off the rebuild next year. The Colts, Philip Rivers, he had a really good game. I think that it really is all about him. You look at like the games they've lost, the games that they've won, and I think in both the games that they've lost, he had a really bad game. But in the 4 games that they've won, he's had a pretty good game. And the Colts, they're 4-2. They're in a good situation right now. We'll see what they can do with it. Coming up next, we have the Falcons versus the Vikings. The Falcons won 40-23. It was a complete and total blowout. The score may not show it, but it was a complete and total blowout. The Vikings scored 16 points late in the fourth quarter. It was really a huge blowout. The Falcons, they get rid of Dan Quinn, and then they don't. Whenever it was like, I think it was 20. I think it was either 27 or 23-0 when the Vikings got their touchdown. And I started to think, what if they come back? Because I'm pretty sure it was early in the third quarter. No, I think it was 23-0. They got a touchdown. I was like, now they're only 2 scores away. Could they, come back and... But no, the Falcons, they finally get their first win. They're 1-5. You look at this game, Falcons-Vikings, both of them 1-5. They're not playing like 1-5 teams. We didn't expect them to be 1-5 teams, but the Falcons, 40-23, finally they're catching fire. We'll see what they can do. If they keep on playing this way, they could possibly end up in the playoffs. Which, I mean, their offense has their offense has been really explosive this whole season, so they do still have a chance. But they're really going to have to work for it. But they do still have it. Next up, I'm going to start speeding things up. It's already been 6 minutes. I'm only done with 3 games. We have Broncos-Patriots. The Broncos shocked the world and beat the Patriots 18-12. Cam Newton had a terrible game. This was a lot on Cam Newton. He had a really bad game, a couple interceptions. He did have their 1 touchdown. It was a rushing touchdown for him. He also failed on a 2-point conversion, but whatever. The Broncos, just because they beat the Patriots, they also didn't do a very good job offensively. They only scored 18 points. I'm pretty sure Drew Lock had no touchdowns and 2 interceptions. They scored 6 field goals to put them on top there. So yeah, I really think that the Broncos, they got a couple lucky wins in a row there. We'll see if their luck holds out or if they go back, because I mean they're not a very good team. The Patriots are 2-3. Yeah, this is their worst start, and I think since like 2000. I don't know. It's been a while since they've been 2-3. And yeah, so the Cam Newton looked pretty bad. So the Patriots really got to step it up. I'm pretty sure they play the 49ers next week, if I'm not mistaken. And looking at how they did Sunday night, which we will talk about in a few minutes, hopefully, if I don't, keep on blabbering around. It's going to be a pretty tough game next week. If they're 2-4, that's not good. They're so hyped up. Next game, Washington Giants, the battle of the 2 bottom. These are just 2 bottom feeders, really. The loser of this game was going to be the winner, and Washington lost. It was 13-13. Kyle Allen fumbled, and they returned it back for a touchdown, 20-13. They got the ball back, went out the field, scored a touchdown, then they went for 2. And you have to wonder, was Ron Rivera thinking, hey, we're gonna get this for 2, or did he think like, all right, we're gonna miss this because we need to, put up a fight for the fans, but also we kind of need to lose because even if we do make the playoffs, we're not gonna go far. There's no way we win the Super Bowl this season. So you have to wonder, was he thinking, all right, we're going to win and we're going to be at the top of our division, or we are going to lose and we are going to get a really good draft pick? Who knows? Because it kind of looked like Kyle Allen was trying to, I'm not saying anything, it kind of looked like Kyle Allen was trying to miss it. He had a wide open lane to run in there, and then he started to, and then he stopped for no reason. There was like a defender 3 yards away from him, but if he kept on running, he would have easily gotten in there. I could have done that. I could have walked in. And then he kind of just threw the ball away, which I mean, would you not, try to throw it to somebody? Because, I mean, even if you throw an interception at that point, it doesn't matter. And then, of course, they missed the onside kick. So, two battle of the worst teams. They're both 1-5 now. We'll see if Washington can keep on losing. Giants can keep on losing. I feel bad for the Giants. They were in a good position there. They were 0-5. They could have kept on losing. They could have, battled with the Jets for the bottom. And now, Washington has dropped down below the Giants. That could come into play later. The Giants play them again in 2 weeks. If Washington loses again, that could be pretty good for the Washington's future. Washington, though, they got to do something crazy with this offseason. Trevor Lawrence. Every single team in this league wants Trevor Lawrence. That's below 500 right now. Also, I saw something that said that the Patriots really think that Washington's looking to sign Cam Newton. Which also, that could be what they could do is they could sign Cam Newton, draft the best wide receiver in the league, or best rookie wide receiver, because right now they don't have any weapons on that offense, and that could really boost them up. Next, Ravens versus the Eagles. A surprisingly close game. It was 30-28. The Eagles scored 22 points in the fourth quarter. Impressive. They were down 30-6 going into the fourth quarter. No one thought they could do it. They scored 2 touchdowns with 2-point conversions. A third touchdown, missed a 2-point conversion. I feel bad for them, but they missed a 2-point conversion. They missed 2 2-point conversions because in the third quarter they also got a touchdown, and then they missed a 2-point conversion. Anyways, the Eagles, they played horribly up until the end of the third quarter and on. But they were really impressive in that fourth quarter. If they can play like that for all 4 quarters next week, especially since they're going up against the Giants, they have a really good chance next week. And especially since the Eagles have a really good chance of winning this division. They probably might. This might be a really easy division for them to win. They just need to win this next week, and they need to keep on winning because right now Dallas is not looking too good. They lose this week. They could keep on. The Eagles could just take this by storm. They've got the Eagles. They've got the Giants next week, and who knows what they've got the week after that. But they do have a pretty good chance of winning this division. The Ravens also 5-1, also have a really good chance of winning their division. But anyways, next up, Browns versus Steelers. I thought the Browns were gonna win. And I was really wrong. It was a complete and total blowout. Steelers win by 31 points, 38-7. I've seen a lot of people overreacting from this. A lot of people. People saying that, Baker Mayfield is holding this team back, which, he probably is, but still. Baker Mayfield is terrible, one of the worst quarterbacks in the league. Are you forgetting these past 4 weeks? Are you forgetting how good he has been playing? People really, I think, underrate the Browns' passing offense because they do have a really good passing game to complement the fact they have a really good running game. It was just the Steelers' defense is one of the best in the league, and their offense is also a really good. They're 5-0. They're one of the best teams. They might be the best. No, they're not the best, but they're one of the best teams in the league. The Browns' offense played terribly. Case Keenum got to get in there because Baker Mayfield was benched halfway through the third quarter, which I'm sure he'll be back out there next week. There's no question about that. But Case Keenum went out there and had I was kind of defending Baker Mayfield, but he did only have a 50.4 quarterback rating, so it makes sense that they would put him in there. Case Keenum went in there, got a 64 quarterback rating, higher than Baker Mayfield. So yeah, Browns. Y'all are still in a pretty good position. You're 4-2. Y'all are just in a really tough division. Y'all are gonna have to try to sneak in as a wild card round, which I'm gonna be really excited to see the AFC fight for wild card spots. Because the NFC, it's like you've got the NFC West. They're basically gonna have all 3, and then maybe they're probably gonna be 2 teams from the NFC West and a team, and then whoever comes in second in the NFC South, whether that be the Panthers, Saints, or Buccaneers. Because really, that's a pretty good division over there in the NFC South. No one really even talks about it, but that is a pretty good. So it's either going to be 3. It's going to be between the NFC West and the NFC South for that one. But the AFC is going to be all over the place. You have good teams in the AFC South. You have good teams in the AFC West, good teams in the AFC East, and good teams in the AFC North. It's going to be a really big battle, and I'm going to be really interested to look at that. And the Browns are definitely going to be a big part of that toward the end of the season. Next up, Bears-Panthers. Bears win 23-16. Both teams had a really bad game. What can I say? The Panthers, Teddy Bridgewater had 2 interceptions and no touchdowns. They really didn't play very well. They started to come back there at the end, but they just couldn't do it. Bears, when they are somehow 5-1. They are looking like the real deal. I don't think they're 5-1 good. I think their record is a lot better than they are, and I think. I mean, I keep on waiting for them to start losing, and they just don't. And I'm just wondering, are they going to start taking off? Because with like the Packers, well, we'll talk about the Packers game. But I mean, the Bears, they're looking good, and I thought they would be one of the worst teams in the league. So, Bears fans who watched me before the season started, preseason Bears, Carsonia Means fans, I'm sorry, I really underestimated you. Next up, Lions, Jaguars. Lions win 34-16. No surprise there. They go out to 2-3. The Jaguars, we all know by now, the first game and a half really were just a fluke. They had a really good first couple games. That's a distant memory now. The Lions, they've been people never talk about it. The Lions have been having a really good season. I know they're only 2-3, but they have really been playing quite well. They held it close against the Saints, and they've got a couple wins. They beat the Cardinals, and they beat the Jaguars now. So, beating the Cardinals is no easy feat. They're one of the better teams in the league, and then also keeping it close to the Saints. So they're not beating. Saw a little flash. I ran out of storage there, cleared some stuff out. We should be fine for now. I'm just taking a really long time with this video, and I apologize for that. Next up, I forgot what I was talking about with the Lions. I think I was talking about how good they've been doing. And yeah, the Lions have a serious chance. Really, really underrated. Along with the Dolphins, might be one of the most underrated teams in the league. Next up, speaking of the Dolphins, we have Jets. Dolphins completely stomped all over the Jets, 24-0. Ryan Fitzpatrick having monster game after monster game. Devontae Parker is out. He got injured. That is a big loss for the Dolphins. I didn't see how long he is out. It might have just been for that last game, but if he is out for long, that is going to seriously impact them because they really need him. He is one of their main offensive weapons. Don't know why I'm angled this way. This is better. And the Jets, it's really going to be a fight between them and Washington for Trevor Lawrence at this point. Them, Washington, maybe the Giants, all going in on Trevor Lawrence. The Jets, they didn't score. They got shut out. Joe Flacco really didn't play too well. It was towards the end of the game, they were going down the field, and then they were just getting 4 and outs because they kept on going for it. Not 4 and outs, I guess. And the Dolphins, 3-3, highly underrated. Very, very, very underrated. They're now second in their division. And people do not talk on it. It's them and the Lions are two of the most underrated teams in the league right now. And I'm a Washington fan, okay? I in no way have any reason to support these two teams or to hate them. And I'm saying they're two of the most underrated teams in the league. No one's talking about them. They're talking about the Cowboys and the Steelers and the Patriots, how good they are, but no one's going to talk about the Lions and the Dolphins. I think that the Dolphins have a chance if they stick with Fitzpatrick because he's having really good games. He had a couple bad games at the start of the season. That's past. Week 3 is a long time ago already. But yeah, so right now the Dolphins are 3-3, second in their division. If they keep on winning, I don't know who they play next week, but it doesn't really matter because they're doing really good. I think that honestly, if they went up against a team like the Cowboys or the Eagles, or, we saw it with the 49ers, I think that they could be competitive with a team like the Rams. The Rams at the Rams at their best, week 5 Rams. I think they could be competitive. They were competitive with the Bills. They were competitive with the Seahawks, and no one wants to talk about it. I'm sorry, but the Dolphins have a serious chance of going places. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why, but they do. 2 more games left. You see that? 2 more games. Get a little sneak peek of what my notes are. It's just the quarterback. You'll have to ask for a video. I will make an extra video going through my notes. All right, here's what I do for the Monday night recaps. Here's what I do for everything. Next up, we have Packers versus the Buccaneers. Ooh, it was a rough one. The Buccaneers stomped all over the Packers, 38-10. Packers are up 10-0 at the end of the first quarter. Me along with a lot of other people thought, all right, here we go. Packers are going to take off with this game. Maybe, the Buccaneers will keep it close. But, Aaron Rodgers, he's insane. No, Buccaneers scored 28 points in the second quarter, 10 points in the third quarter. The Packers scoreless after the first quarter, just completely dropped off. Packers had a bad game. Rob Gronkowski had a monster game. He's been having a pretty bad year, but he got his first touchdown catch this season. He was their number one receiver. We're finally getting to see that he still got it, and he contributed a lot to this win. He finally broke out, and they're probably going to start passing to him a lot more. I'm not going to overreact from one game, but we're obviously seeing that he does still have the skill. Last game, Rams 49ers. 49ers get the win at 24-16. And I think it was a pretty close game there. No, I don't know, because it was 21-6. The Rams started to come back, but really it does feel like, after watching the game, it feels weird to think that it was a one-score game, but I guess it was pretty close there at the very end. The Rams did outscore the 49ers 10-3 in the second half, so good for them there. The 49ers, people were overreacting last week. They lost. They had a really bad game against the Dolphins, who, like I was just saying, are a really, really good team. And nobody talks about them, but, I've already ranted about that. You know my feelings about that already. The 49ers, people were saying, oh, Jimmy G, he was a one-year wonder, took him to the Super Bowl. What is he doing now? He's got him at 2-3. He came back from an injury, and then he played terribly, and people thought, oh, that's their... no, I'm no longer believing in Jimmy G. Then he comes out this week, he does a pretty good game. He kind of showed, like, hey, I'm not bad. I wasn't a one-year wonder. And they're 3-3 now. They're definitely not going to... whenever they had all those injuries, that definitely hurt them, but I do still think that they have a serious chance of making it definitely to a wild card round. They're only 2 games out of their division, and that is still a chance. That is still a possibility. But with the tough division they have, I think right now they need to figure out if they need to just focus on getting second in their division and getting into that wild card slot, and they need to do something after that, because for all we know, the Seahawks are seriously looking like a team that's going to go 13-3, 14-2. And right now, the 49ers are going to have to win out if they want to win their division. I don't know why I'm leaning so close, up close and personal now. But 49ers, they do still have a serious chance. And I think we'll see that in these upcoming weeks. They have a really, really tough schedule, though. They play like the Packers, they play the Patriots, they play the Seahawks, obviously. And they're going to have to work for it, but I think that they could pull something off here, and they could, obviously they made the Super Bowl last year. They are still a very, very talented team, and as slowly they start getting players back, we're going to see it. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like the NFL, or just, you want to watch me talk for a few minutes every day, please subscribe to this channel. We post videos every single day, unless I'm busy, which I didn't post a video on Friday or Saturday, or I didn't post a video on Saturday because I was busy, and I didn't post a video on Friday because there was no Thursday night game. But I post videos every single day as long as I'm not busy and as long as there are Thursday night games. I do Monday night recaps, Thursday night recaps, predictions, power rankings. My power rankings are in 2 parts just because they're so long, and I go in depth about each team. So if you want to hear what I honestly think about your team every week and how they did, more than just this little recap, you can always watch that. And also, I'm a Washington fan. I sit down and I react to that. So if you want to, see a delusional Washington fan talk about how we need to tank, and also a little bit of how we still have a chance this season, then go ahead and watch that. I do a preview of each Washington game too every Saturday. And yeah, I really think it'd be cool if you subscribe to me here, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram in that description. And yeah, I hope to see you in the next one. In fact, I know I'll see you in my next one. Or else.